Right, excellent afternoon, viewers. It is another Tuesday afternoon, and you are on to Real Talk with Kike, the talk show where conversations are real. I'm not just here alone. I'm with my one and only Lala in the building.
Yeah. Now they're going to accuse
How
us.
you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. It's so awesome to be here. Every other time we have to be on the show. So how is everybody doing?
And I'm so excited to have you here. And I have to tell you, the got you. We've got you.
Oh,
nothing.
Yeah. We're going to be fine.
Should I say nothing do you?
We're going to be fine. Absolutely. Now you look amazing. I particularly like your hair, even though I know you're going to roll your eyes, but it's okay.
I'm rolling my eyes already. All right. I'm just trying to achieve a soft look today, but still I'm not feeling the hairstyle. But Lola said it's nice, so
you're killing it.
I'm sticking to that, so it's not about my hair today. All right, I know the marshal is running late, of course. You don't have control when it comes to traffic in Lagos. Anyways, before we go into all the banter back and forth, it's necessary for us to listen to On This Day in History. We'll be right back.
On this day in history, 23rd of February, exactly 15 years ago, in 2006, Christians burned Muslim corpses and defaced wrecked mosques, showing little repentance after days of sectarian violence that killed more than 120 people across the country in Onitsha city. The hostility of an unfamiliar religion still predominates some areas in Nigeria, especially where it is dominated by another ethnic religion, as in the case of Christianity in the north and Islam in the east. Ethnic and religious differences are to be respected and appreciated, and not to be a cause of division in our dear country.
All right, that was On This Day in History, and that happened, I think, 15 years or 13 years ago, to be precise. And it's so unfortunate that we lost about 120 people in Onitsha, all in the name of religion differences. And I'm just wondering, Lolo, what's your opinion on this?
Sometimes I'm wondering that why do we leave the issues that we need to address? Sometimes the root cause of these issues are not religion. It's not religion. That's not the basis. It's probably two people having issues amongst themselves, and it just escalated. And maybe because they're on two sides of the religion, they just make it about that. I think it's time we begin to, change our mentality and learn to address the issues and not just put biases like religion or ethnicities.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I think this also addressed the fact that I remember during the Lagos toll gate issue that happened, the NSAS issue, and a lot of citizens went after people's, businesses, shops, and I'm wondering, is that the main issue of the day? And the fact that people can now bring religion, just like when you want to marry your significant other, your partner, you find people or families, having issues with the kind of religion or where it's from, it's necessary for us to remember today that we shouldn't let religion be a barrier into whatever issue that we have with people individually, and let's just try to come together and live harmony in unity with ourselves, because that is exactly what Nigeria needs today. So moving forward, I know that we have our guest on our Zoom line at the moment, but we would return after a word from our sponsor. Do not touch that dial. This is Real Talk with Kike. All right, many thanks for staying tuned. I keep saying don't touch the dial because I'm always on air on radio as well. We multitask both media
everywhere.
Everywhere. All right, so on today's show, we will be discussing issues surrounding national insecurities, ethnic crisis, and of course, the future election in 2023. Let me say this. We are Nigerians. We need to take elections more seriously, particularly in 2023. Let's change the motive. Let's change the future of our children. Moving forward, we have Chief Bode George on the show this afternoon, and we have quite an area of discussions to have with the elder statesman. And on our first segment, we will be, spotlighting recent happenings on security and ethnic crisis pertaining to leadership in our dear country. But before then, let's, take a look at our guest profile. All right, many thanks for staying tuned. So good afternoon, Chief Bode George. It is a pleasure to have you on the show today. Many thanks for sharing part of your lunchtime with us on Real Talk with Kike. How are you doing, sir?
Very well, very well. It's a pleasure to be with you this afternoon.
Thanks, sir. And let me ask.
Looking forward to the discussion.
Yeah, have you been staying safe? You know, and you look good, if I may chip that in. For your age, you look good.
Yeah, well, you know, when you talk about retirement, you have less worries. And I will be 76 this year. And generals don't retire; we only fade away. So the good old soldier in me still keeps me going.
Right, that is so nice, sir. So let's just go straight to the business of the day. And my first question to you, sir, is that you know you have been very outspoken on the Lekki toll gate issue for the past few weeks, and you have even further asked Lagos State to prove that Tinubu doesn't own the Lekki concession company. Are your reason and facts? You know, I would like to have your own reason and fact to buttress this claim, sir.
You know, there is a law. They call it the Freedom of Information Act. We've been asking, what are the details on this Lekki toll gate? You see, former governor, Papa Jakonde, was the first governor that opened that route to Epe. He couldn't complete it. You know, it was not all right. But Mudashiru became governor, who was my classmate in primary school, and he completed it to Epe. Now, people were traversing and they opened up that belt. Then this chap came, Tinubu, then expanded it for less than 3 kilometers. Now you now put a toll gate there. It's an intrastate road. Now, he didn't borrow, even if he borrowed money, the IGR from Lagos is good enough. What are the services you are rendering to the people? Now, you told it up, people were watching, they thought maybe this would be easier for them. And suddenly the population on that belt is bursting at the seams. And you now lock them up. The health problem involved in trying to stay through the traffic. Then you pay, 400 naira to go, 400 naira to come if you have a Jeep. And, you know, the number of people there. You remember sometimes last week they asked the MD, how much do you realize in a day? Because I remember when Bola Tinubu left, they asked, there was a buyback, and they paid billions of naira to him and his colleagues as a buyback. Their company, the HP, the engineering, HFP or whatever, that this Lebanese man. So who is managing Lekki? You can see now that it has eased up the people trafficking from there. The gridlock has been reduced, so public health has improved. Now, with this COVID, with lack of funding, with lack of money, at least you will have some savings. So, what is the hurry? Who is in charge of this Lekki? How much of the Lekki did you build to be collecting humongous amount of money? Okay, if you build the bridge across, so what? What are the services you are supposed to render to people? Are you to milk them until they are dead? It is greed. And when you see it, there was a publication where a list of those who are collecting the money, Tinubu's name was there too. We want Dari, who are collecting 10 million naira every other day. Does that make any economic sense? Look, Lagos, yes, is an economic center for Nigeria. There is so much poverty in the land. So many people are here, young minds, jobless. I am happy recently after I spoke that why can't you create skill acquisition programs for those who are not graduates? I am told that the state government is arranging now to give them skill acquisition. Fine. What about the graduates, the young minds? When I was in my final year in the University of Lagos, over 50-something years ago, I got my job before I wrote my final exam. Governance at that time, I'll tell you one story. Governance was meant to serve the people. General Johnson was the governor. My colleagues and I, we were in class. Suddenly, our friends from the West said they had gotten scholarship. Oh, then about 4 of us who are Lagosians said, why can't we? Because they had just created Lagos State at that time. I said, let's go down there and ask and tell the government too. We are Lagosians, Western region students have been given scholarship. Why don't you? They didn't drive us away. We came by bus.
Sir, listening to you, sir. Listening to you, sir. Yeah, listening to you, sir. I know that you just mentioned that about 10 million naira is being some person, Sheyi Tinubu, also gets from the people. But there's an allegation that says that 400 million is made on daily basis from toll gates, and Lagos State must declare what it makes from toll gates. So exactly your words, sir, I just quoted. Is that a question calling to Lagos to accountability on taxpayers' money, or in line with Lekki toll gate protest?
You see, you cannot divorce one from the other. The 400 million. You remember some fellow some young lady was asking the MD, how much do you get a day? How much do you get a day? He said, I don't think I know it. Managing director of the company doesn't know how much the company earns a day. There, you have so much bottled up maladies that the people are afraid. They don't tell the truth. And as a Lagosian and a tax-paying Lagosian, at my age, let the Lagos State government, because of the Freedom of Information Act, declare everything. Who is in charge of Lekki? Who is controlling the finances in Lekki? And one big question mark, how do you now want to start tolling the people and putting more pressure with this COVID that is outside? Who is behind COVID? The collection of the money. What are they doing with the money? Simple question. Tell us. Because you have voted in, you are not a military government. They must tell us. Because up till now, Bola Tinubu is still collecting 15% of the internally generated revenue for Lagos State every time. And the Alpha Beta company is the company that is still collecting all the IGR on behalf of Lagos State.
Thank you very much, sir.
Done. So it is not a secret. We've asked them, tell us. It's a simple thing. Tell us who is ABT.
Thank you, sir. There's
tell
so
us
many.
Alpha Beta company. Tell us, so that we know. Everywhere you go in Lagos, there is a complete breakdown. It unnerves me. And I was more angered when I saw him talking at Baba Jakonde's Fidao. Come on.
And there's so many issues that we can continue to discuss as per the toll gates and the monies that are being collected, whether there is enough accountability or not by the Lagos State government or the LCC. Sir, I'm privileged. We're so privileged to have you. Having served with various governments over the years, a lot of people would say that the decadence that we experience in the country is not something new. That this is like a cancer that has been festering for years past. So I just want to ask, what would you say the present government is doing wrong? Because it seems that not just Lagos State is getting it wrong on insecurity, it is across the country now. It's like a madhouse out there, kidnapping every day, killing every day. It's just mayhem. It's just all over the place. I just want to know, sir, would you say that the decadence started from your time, and what we are just experiencing are the results of what has been ongoing for a long time, or this just happened with this government?
No, it has been gathering storm. You know, the illness of our society, the debilitating illness that has affected our nation, just didn't start from this governance. And you know, it is almost getting to the zenith during this period. That's why people are howling, not in only one part of the country. In the north, people are howling that what is happening? In the east, the same. In the south, the west, the same. South, the same. So something must be really getting under our skin. And the first thing, when I looked at it, yes, I served the military. Of course, we didn't have this kind of nonsense during the military. Even if you did, it would be nipped in the bud. But you know, the military governance. Now, what has happened is that the system we are running is very defective. The system of governance is very defective. Every power is concentrated at the center. The internal security measure you stated, we have just one Inspector General of Police, and every policing is community-based. So what can one man do from Abuja to maintain internal security in Nigeria? How? We copied the American system. The American system has a way by which every county, in other words, local government, has a police. There is also a state police, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI, is the national police. So there is no way this policing system can be effective. And what is the total number of policemen we have? About 140-something thousand to man this massive country called Nigeria. Let us be frank. The system of governance, power is concentrated at the center, and we are losing track. The issue of ethnic jingoism is driving us nuts. Ethnic imbalance, tribalism has gotten to the highest level. There is so much mistrust. You know, once you see somebody who is not from your side, you at your gunpoint. For what? We had existed in peace for many years. So what brought all this? It has to be that there is a system we are running that is not effective. And we've been saying it. I was a member of the National Conference. We debated, we brought a final suggested solution. Why can't the president take it up? If you think that go for election in 2023 with this same system of governance, foul. It cannot work. It's not working.
You are saying that
if every state, it's not working.
All right,
That's what has encouraged all this internal wrangling and infighting and distrust and mistrust. Is this the first time Fulani people are bringing their cows down? Why now? Who are these people? Of course, if somebody tramples on your own property,
All right. So, sir, talking about. We hear you, sir. We hear you, sir. You know, talking about why now, I think that takes me to the next question I want to ask you, because with many of the PDP politicians and governors defecting to APC recently, are there any form of crisis within the party you once controlled, or could it be just, you know, politicians securing their personal interest for 2023, talking about Absolutely. The next election?
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's my belief too. Because, hey, take the two political parties. Are there ideological differences? So you must be in the running government.
Good to have you, sir, once again on the show, sir. Just a very quick one. I sat out listening to all that you had to say to questions asked. Very quickly, sir, what difference would you say that this current administration has or makes in comparison with the 16 years of the People's Democratic Party, which you were a very strong and pivotal stalwart?
So, what you need to do when you want to compare, we took over, we won the election immediately after the military. The military prepared a constitution which was enacted to law, and then we were operating that constitution. Now, I remember that people wanted a tested captain, somebody who had been there, who had the experience to be like a moderator and, you know, transit peacefully for a stabilized nation. During that period, we saw the lacuna in this system. But you cannot, because we have just gone out of a heavily military control governance, to be in a civil and then start to want to disrupt what they were given. But all along, there was the Truth and Reconciliation during that first term of PDP to bring that sense of belonging to everybody. Because if you cannot reconcile, if you don't tell yourself something.
Please, can you hold that thought, sir? We have a caller from Port Harcourt. Sir. Please hold that thought. Thank God we can hear you.
Okay.
Hello. Thank God, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
All right, make your points very quickly.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. Can you please reduce the volume of your TV set, please?
I've just done that.
All right, make your points very quickly.
Well, the issue is that we in Port Harcourt here, we are actually facing a very hard insecurity issue. I just believe that, I just pray that the government should do something about the insecurity, because I'm seeing Nigeria turning to Libya. Hello?
All right, thank you.
We heard you. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Are you there?
Kike, I am here.
Okay,
all
sir.
Right,
can you hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. Now, what I'm trying to describe is that for that period, it was a period of testing that system handed over, you know, and we saw that there were problems. But how do you resolve these problems? You know, it's no longer a military government. You had to go through the constitutional changes, the procedure, and all that. But when we finished before we handed over, it was Jonathan. And we must commend him. The pages of history will be kind to him, because something that he now did was to call a constitutional conference for us to revisit that constitution and make amends to make it modern in a way that will bring every Nigerian to have that commitment and loyalty to a nation called Nigeria. We talk about federalism. Federalism is all federalism by mouth. I was a member, that's what I said. We prepared a document for the first time in the history of this country that a civilian administration will start to review your constitution from day one, and we concluded with the report submitted. What has happened to that constitution? This is what we are now asking, Oga.
Am I not sharing your sentiment as you've narrated, but what's your take on the need for Nigeria to restructure? What's your take on restructuring?
Look, the report is, we are not starting from scratch. The whole report is there. When Jonathan handed it over to him, he said they should put it in the archives. They should go back, get that document. We still have time between now and 2023. You see, what has happened now is that the internal dynamism of tribal sentiment had gone completely out of control. And it's not only in the southwest or southeast, everywhere in this country, everybody is complaining. Of course, how many policemen do we have? How much can you stretch your military power?
So I don't know if you can hear us, sir. Can you hear us in the studio, sir?
Can you hear us?
Okay.
I can hear you.
Yes, I was asking a question regarding your take on restructuring, sir.
Yes.
He was asking your take on restructuring, sir. What is your position on restructuring?
It's already there. The report is already there. You are not just going to start thinking, what are you going to do? The report of that constitutional conference says it all. Let the president and his team get those documents out, review them.
All right. I think we have what's it called? Erratic network as well. Network. You know, but I think if the technical people can
close them, open them up, set up a review of the assignment. And so what is that? I'm batching orders. It's not working. It's not working at all. I mean, I've served the military government. I have served the civilian government. This looks completely like a military government. It is not working. Let us that cannot survive, we'll find something to do, because there's hardly any state that does
having
so that your people live well.
Well, let's hope that the network comes back strong. We could go to the phone lines in the meantime.
All right. So I think we have another caller on the line right now. All right, you know, but with everything that is happening at the moment, I think if the technical people can please reconnect him and try to see what is going on with the network. You know, with everything you have said thus far, what can you pick from it? What do you think is part of the issues that we are facing that is not causing that oneness in our nation today? Lolo?
I asked him a question about where does he think this decadence started from? And because he has had the privilege of heading a big political party, one of the big ones in the country. And you say the decadence of the corruption and the degeneration or disintegration of our country came from those times. But he wasn't able to give me a straight cut answer. Because right now we're clamoring, everybody's clamoring to be on
for unity.
A lot of people are clamoring for dissension.
What?
It's not even about unity. Some, I would say, leadership wants unity, but it seems that the center is beginning to...
All right, we have Mike from Benin City on the line. Hello, Mike.
Michael from Benin City.
Yes.
Welcome. Your take.
Welcome.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
The question you asked of the comparison with your administration, this presidential.
Yeah.
We have to look at from the are we talking of insecurity, corruption, or so.
Apologies, Mike. I might have to cut that. Hello, sir. Are you still there? And can you hear us, please?
Yes, I am here.
Fantastic.
What I'm trying to push forward is that the issue of corruption and the issue of insecurity is not something that you could pinpoint to say, oh, it started in this period and in that period it never occurred. It is the volume that has gone beyond human comprehension now.
So you're acknowledging that it started in those early times, so we're just seeing the...
It was there and people were arrested, people were dealt with, you take you to court and then, you know, you explain yourself or whatever.
So, Chief...
But now, you see, what you do now, what you see, what you experience now, is that there is hunger in the land. Where is the job for the underprivileged people? And if the base is getting larger, jobless, you know, educated, if they have nothing to do, they will be the most dangerous. What are you doing to alleviate the suffering of those people? The economic income, I mean, like the financial, the oil something, how much do we get back now from oil? Is dwindling. Our budget for this year, the government is still planning to go and borrow money to meet the budget. And look at the wastages. And then suddenly the pandemic is also ravaging. You now have some of these people, I don't know where they are from,
sir,
carrying weapons and disturbing people.
Can you hear us in the studio, sir?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, sir. You've been talking about the youth. I like the fact that you're passionate about the youth and that you can see that the youth in Nigeria, there's a lot of issues around them. So what is your take on youth leadership? Do you think the young people of these times are ripe for leadership? Because nowadays, when we talk about youth leadership, we're still seeing the old. The parties are still fielding people within their age grades. And yet we're thinking of making leadership younger. So what is your stance on that?
All right, sir, before you respond to that question, it's important for us to get public feedback. And we have a caller on the line, Olu from Igodo. Olu, what's your perspective on today's topic at hand and the guest we have?
Afternoon, Papa.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah, my question to Papa is that entrance in Lekki-Epe is it Lagos State that owing tax or federal? Why is the Lekki-Epe? Because I believe that Lekki-Epe belongs to Lagos State, not federal. Now, why is this toll gate that is main point where the entrance is being carried out, not the federal government proper? Is the Lagos State that owing tax or federal government? Why is Lagos State being destroyed? Now, they emphasize on the toll gate, but the toll gate belongs to the Lagos State to generate revenue for Lagos State. Is it because of the toll gate the entrance happened, or because of the fact that it's a life, massive life, now why the entrance being carried out?
All right, thank you very much, Olu.
I didn't quite catch what Olu was trying to drive.
Please, can you do a recap for him?
Olu was just trying to say that the toll gate belongs to Lagos State. So why is there so much clamoring about it? That is a source of generating revenue for the state. That the issue of NSTARS has nothing to do with the toll gate.
And the federal government influence.
And the federal government influence. And that it's more about governance and other things, police brutality.
For me, I think that was just a comment.
Okay, that's NSTARS.
I think it's just a comment.
If you live on that belt, and with the little meager money you collect as salary, even if you are a petty trader, you keep coming. I said it, that it was Papa Jakonde who opened that route to Epe. He didn't put on any toll gate there. He completed it all the way to Epe. He didn't put any toll gate. This fellow, Bola Tinubu, came, they expanded the road for less than 3 kilometers. And he has told it, plus the bridge, plus this, is an intrastate road. What is, okay, since they've been collecting money, haven't they collected enough to allow the
to 2023?
Yes, I would love to divert. Actually, we need to change the tone and move into other.
All right, we'll go on a quick break and return after a word from our sponsors.
All right.
Please stay tuned. All right, many thanks, Chief Bode George. It has been awesome and interesting 4 segment with you on security affairs and ethnic tension in Nigeria. You know, with everything you've said thus far, I hope we have our guests connected to us.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So many thanks, sir.
No problem.
All right, sir. So with everything, with all you've been saying thus far, you know, in terms of insecurity, in terms of governance, and of course, many other issues that we're facing, many people, including you, sir, has complained of nepotism from federal level, tearing us apart in the country. It is really our problem, or I would like to say, is it really our problem, or a leadership factor affecting us as a nation?
Yeah, it's part of leadership factor. You remember, let's take a deep breath and look at what happened during President Trump's reign and Biden. You remember that there was the issue of all Trump's children being involved and all this and all that in his governance. His daughter was part of a special advisor. His sons said they were doing their private business. But so much will come out. And Biden took an oath that he would not allow any of his kids to be part of the governance while he is president. In fact, one of his, the only brother he had, got involved with a legal company, and there was a hue and cry. And I think he had removed himself from it. But here, maybe people don't see it as corruption. Take Lagos. Start from my state first before I start driving to the national. It is incomprehensible. Now, to know that your son, if your daughter is the Yaloja of Lagos, your son is the only has a company that is the only one doing advertisement billboards all over Lagos, and is heavily involved with the toll gate. Then your wife is a senator, so maybe when he now becomes president, you will now go on. Your wife will be Senate president, your son will be governor of Lagos State, and your daughter will be your Lord of Lagos. Come on, people are shameless.
Say to you, it's important for us to just drift a little bit. Let's.
You feel the
Sir, listening to you, sir, it's important for us to just redirect focus on the conversation we've been having thus far. That's the reason why in this second segment, I want us to throw more light on other things. And this will take me to another question I need to ask you, because I know that you are a tower of direction in the political landscape of Nigeria and a prominent chieftain in the PDP wing. So my question to you is that what do you make of 2023 with everything you've said thus far?
Let me tell you, I pray that I will still be alive. I will be 78 years old. Thank God, being a general, I will still be healthy enough to move around and make my contributions. This system is not working. People have been junketing, been running around. They want to be president, they want to be vice president, they want to be this, they want to be that. If we do not go and have a revisit to remodel the system of governance in this country, what is 2023? It's almost here. Are we going to perpetuate the pain and the anger on the people, where you must go and devolve power first before we talk about 2023, for God's sake. So 2023, for what? Then we continue with this system? It is not working, my dear. And when you look at it, one of you asked the question, what about the youth? I talk about the youth. Of course I talk about the youth. I was a governor when I was 42 years old. Now I'm 76. It's just the contribution they're talking about, because no matter how a young man, no matter how brilliant he is, he still has to listen to elders. Because this gray hair, you don't get it from the market. But not that you will be on the front line. Just purely advise me. Let them come out. Let them not be afraid. The system is too encumbered and too heavily built for one source.
If this current administration fails to yield to what you are talking about ahead of 2023, right, how prepared is your party? How prepared are the political stalwarts that are lieutenants in your political party to confront the opposition or the ruling party in 2023?
For us, for PDP, we knew that because of the system, because of all these, the pandemic issue, the lack of camaraderie, the lack of oneness, the lack of unity in terms of tribalism, there are problems. You cannot divorce one party from the other on that basis. But we are trying, because we have a system which the founding fathers gave us. We just didn't hurry up to form a political party. It's a national party. And the tendencies from the rainforest to the savanna regions in the north, we know the differences. And for us, we zone positions. So it won't be a problem for us to get ready for the 2023. But what I am saying, the fundamental is not solid, it's not right. The fundamental of this nation is wobbling.
Sir, 2023 is upon us, sir. 2023 is upon us. We have just a year in before we get into the election year.
2 years.
Yes, 2 years before we get into the election year. I was just considering this year having been going. Sir, I just want to ask that in the political landscape, when an election is pending, when an election year is approaching, by now we should be seeing, light should be beaming on who the political those that need to be focused on at that time. But I cannot see the searchlight. We are being misled. This person will be fielded, we will see posters everywhere, and they will deny it outright.
Listen, let me give you my own knowledge. You don't rush into things like that. Even in the most developed world, it is 1 year before the exit that you start the politicking. If you start too early, it's like boxing. When you start, practicing, and if you over practice, when the D-Day now comes and they ring the bell for you to start, you'll be too tired. We don't start too early, but we still have room, we have time to discuss all the type of system we want to run. By May next year, it will be 1 year to 2023. That's when you start full political activities. You don't start too early. You will be tired. So the best thing first, let us sort out this mess. I said that the constitution that was drafted, that was approved, is there in their archives. We still have 1.5 years to put it out, get it from wherever it is kept. Let's discuss it. Rushing into having another election is a disaster waiting to tear this nation into shreds.
Absolutely.
Please. And
many
we
thanks.
talk about youth.
Many thanks,
yes,
sir.
I would like them.
All right. Thank you so much, sir, for coming on the show via electronic lines, Chief Bode George. It was great having you on via phone lines, and of course, with the wealth of dominance you have in Nigerian politics, you have given us pointers and shed light on the direction of our political landscape in Nigeria.
Loved to go on.
Again, we wish you would have loved to go on, and yeah, many thanks again, once again, Chief.
Civic Lexi. So that because we want to see some of you go to the house and take over and make sure that you can be you can have an impact on the system.
Lolo will be joining us in the house to represent us on this platform. Thank you very much, sir. It was indeed our real talk from our guest on the show today.
Thank you very much.
Why not?
All right now I think we'll be in 30 seconds, because I know we're out of time. What do you have to take from all of this, Marshall, in 30 seconds?
Well, for me, the chief, the political stalwart is really pushing for a lot to be done regarding the rejigging of the constitution ahead of 2023, and he is really blaming a lot of things not sitting down well in the political arena on the constitution.
All right, thank you, Marshall, for that. I think we will be leaving you with our song of the day till we come again on Thursday. We give you real talk. Keep being real. Bye now.
Bye bye. Bye bye.
Yeah.